Mark Dice coming at you live. Resistance Radio. It is the 22nd of July 2007. For the full hour, we're going to be joined by Peter J., last name initial J., the producer of Zeitgeist, the movie. Been making some serious buzz on the internet. Had about 27,000 views yesterday. Very controversial. Mixes quite esoteric topics. Peter, thanks for joining us tonight on Resistance Radio, and excuse the technical difficulties here. We're getting the studio bugs worked out. You with us?
I am. Thank you for having me on, Mark.
Probably most of the audience, most of the Patriot movement has seen the movie Zeitgeist, the movie. Just go type it in on Google, and you can see the whole thing. It's about an hour and a half movie. But for those who haven't seen it, maybe people have heard a little bit about it, just give us a brief overview of what people can expect.
All right, well, the movie is divided into three main sections. There's an introductory section, which is purely experiential. But the first section is entitled The Greatest Story Ever Told, and it talks about the astro-theological basis of Christianity. The second section is called All the World's a Stage, which talks about false flag terrorism and specifically 9/11. And the third section is Don't Mind the Men Behind the Curtain, which talks about the people who are essentially in the banking and enterprise corporate industry that have been running this country and in an abstract notion, running everything for an extremely long period of time. And that's the very general summary. I'm not sure how specific you want me to get with each section, but...
No, man, there's so much to cover here. I want to just focus mainly on the first part of this movie, and it wasn't just me that felt this way. I found this in some of the forums on Loose Change, and it almost seems that you have contempt for Christianity. You call it the fraud of the age. You seem to take the stance that Jesus never existed. Can you expand on that for me? I mean, I could feel the disdain in your voice when you were narrating that piece. What's your beef with Christianity, Peter?
Well, because it's not true. When you take evidence, here's a great reason to why I added this topic in with 9/11, because what we have in this culture is a degree of gullibility where people are conditioned to believe things that they're told because it fits a certain social paradigm. It fits within their family. For example, Christianity is essentially introduced to most people that believe in it at youth, in their families. I would say 85% of the people that are Christian are raised that way. Now, 9/11, American nationalism. You have American nationalists that try to believe that the U.S. government, who is also a form of family in a sense, however you want to interpret that, but people identify with the government and their communities as a form of family as well. And the government has been telling them all these things their entire life as well. And they say, oh, yes, this is true. We're here to protect you. And 9/11 goes to prove, and it's the most declaratory issue that's happened, that the government is not for us, is against our interests. And these parallels between 9/11 and Christianity, which I think are the most profound, is why I made that connection. Because what you have in Christianity is a completely ignorant population that does not and has not ever has never researched the true origins of this belief system.
No, I know that in the movie you have a clip from George Carlin making fun of the Ten Commandments, and you say that Christianity keeps people enslaved, and this seems to be the same theme that a lot of people in the so-called Patriot movement have. They say that the Illuminati actually created Christianity to keep us enslaved. But, I mean, wouldn't you agree that if you've read the Bible, the New Testament, the words of Jesus, that it's a fantastic philosophy to live by? The Ten Commandments are the perfect rules to abide by, to have a society around. I don't think that it keeps me enslaved, Peter. I mean, you probably know that I'm a Christian. Most of this audience is a Christian. I consider myself to be a free mind, to be freed. The truth shall set you free. I don't think that I'm ignorant because I follow these teachings, Peter.
Well, it depends on to what aspect you want to reproach. There are many great, wonderful people who believe in this belief system, and exactly to what you just said. They follow the teachings of this figure, this character known as Jesus. Now, it's a matter of interpretation. Jesus, he said, love thy neighbor. He said lots of great things. He also said, I don't bring peace, I bring the sword. He said lots of horrific things throughout this text, and the Old New Testament combined is full of
because there are scumbags, Peter,
now,
that need to be punished, that need to be eliminated from the earth.
Excuse me?
I mean, wouldn't you agree that there are evil people that somebody somewhere is going to punish them, needs to punish them, needs to set them aside, jail them, keep them away from us so that they don't ruin society, so that they don't rape children, so that they don't rob
I would say
individuals?
that is a notion that is extremely complex, and in the end, I completely disagree with the idea, a declaratory concept, that there's such a thing as good and evil, because society doesn't work like that. And that's one of the convoluted aspects of Christianity and all the theistic religions is they create this divide. They create this paradigm, this duality. And they think that because they invent this duality, it has to exist. Well, mind you, there are horrific things that occur in society, by all means. I would definitely label certain people as bad. But what is their creation? What is the consequence? They are a product of consequence. And most of the time, that consequence is a product of environment and bad genetics. So what you have is you have an amalgam of circumstances that are completely subjective based on what one person's interest is versus another. What's good to you is probably evil to another person. It is relative in my mind. I mean, I definitely think humanity as a whole built into us is a general sense of nature to which we follow, to which we all live in harmony. And I think the belief system of good versus evil, however, this duality actually disturbs that because it gives people a disposition to hate each other. And that's much more destructive than these establishments that are obviously doing harm to the world. We have cancers in society. We have to change the way we think about things. We have cancers in society. We have social cancers. And just like the cancer in your body, you might not like that cancer, but it's alive just like you are. It's simply trying to survive. So you have to do what you need to get rid of that cancer. That's the way life works.
I don't know how many Christian people you know other than the phony charlatan televangelists, but the people that I know that I go to church with are some of the most honest, caring, trustworthy,
Absolutely.
generous.
I'm not saying any of them are dishonest, what have you. I'm talking about the fact that they do not examine the source of their belief system. I'm not qualifying anybody. All I'm saying is that there are plenty of brilliant, intelligent, good-hearted people that think 9/11 was executed by Islamic extremists. And that's fine, but they're ignorant on the topic. They're ignorant on the point. And in my mind, spirituality consists of looking for the truth. The truth will set you free, and you cannot sit there and just believe something that you never investigate. And that goes for everything. Now, all I ask of you and your audience, and everyone that's Christian or anything, any belief system, don't take my word or anything in the Zeitgeist says anything. Do your own research and look for the things for yourself, because that's what's going to make you free. The knowledge will make you free, and no one should identify with any type of belief system at all. Just because they're
Stay
supposed
tuned,
to,
Peter. On the other side of the break, we'll let you
long.
present some of the evidence that you claim is factual about Jesus not existing.